Hey, I'm Victor Lucas, this is Johnny Millennium, and you are watching Film Fury, and we have just come out of a screening of Justice League. It feels bizarre to say that. I can't believe that they made a movie of Justice League.
You've been looking forward to this movie for so long. Every time the trailer comes on, he's groaning, going, oh no, I'm not looking forward to this. And I'm like, no man, have a bit of faith, have a bit of faith.
Well, it's because I've been really bummed out and let down by not only Batman vs. Superman and Suicide Squad, but also even The Dark Knight Rises, the last Christopher Nolan Batman movie.
Yeah.
The bright spot has been Wonder Woman, who I love, and of course this movie stars everybody. We got Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and Aquaman and The Flash, and so we've got Ezra Miller and Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa, and lots of other supporting actors in here too. Did you like this movie?
There's a silence here.
Yeah.
There's a silence here. This is the theater that we saw it in. Yes. Right here. We just stepped out.
This is the scene of the crime right here.
We saw it in IMAX, and the picture was fantastic. The sound is fantastic. Yes. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I did not like this film.
Yeah.
It is not terrible, but it's not great. This is very flat. It's very average. I was very disappointed by it.
You know what? It's a mess. There is no way to avoid it. It's a mess.
It's a mess like Batman vs. Superman. It's that kind of mess. And I'm going to say right now, one of the big reasons why I did not like this movie. Yeah. There's a lot of humor in it they try to do, and it all lands super flat. Like, you see a movie like Thor, and that movie shines because of the humor. It's really funny. You're into it. This movie is so serious, Batman versus Superman serious, and it didn't work for me.
Yeah, they definitely took steps to address it, you know, like the brighter colors of Superman's outfit. Spoiler alert, but we all know he's coming back. The brighter colors of Wonder Woman, the brighter colors of the Flash costume. They did try to inject levity, of course. It's very well publicized that Zack Snyder stepped away from the movie, and
for some personal reasons, which are terrible
personal reasons,
for sure.
And we feel for him. And there's obviously a tremendous amount of craftsmanship and love put into this movie.
There's a lot of writing on it.
Joss Whedon stepped in, and unfortunately, what you see. Ezra Miller gets the bulk of the jokes, and you're right, they do kind of land with a thud. At least in our screening, I wasn't really moved to laugh.
I didn't even smile.
And we unfortunately saw a lot of these sort of jokes, these lighter kinds of beats. We've seen them in the trailer already, so when you see them in the theater,
they have no punch.
They don't have any punch. And unfortunately, what you see is you kind of see the contracts. You see the contractual obligation to build this movie, and it's not the sort of crescendo. This sort of.
It doesn't feel like it was lovingly made. It feels like it was put together in a factory and churned out.
It does.
And it just, you just got your ultimate bad guy in this movie, Steppenwolf, and all of his henchmen. Once again, another superhero movie that does that. That's okay, but he is so lame. He's so CG.
Yeah, and there's no reason for him to be this angry.
I know, and I didn't give a shit again.
He's a destroyer of worlds, but we just don't care.
I don't care.
Who are you? Yes.
And then my problem with most of the movie is I just didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't care that Superman was back. I didn't care what Batman was doing. I didn't care when, Aquaman showed up. And I like a lot of these actors. The one shining person I want to talk about that I did like, I enjoyed Wonder Woman.
She's incredible in this.
Wonder Woman was good in this movie. It should have just been Wonder Woman. That's something I would have enjoyed.
And that's I think the amazing triumph of the Wonder Woman film and Gal Gadot in this role, and the importance of this character. She is the light of the DC universe.
Really?
And I almost feel bad that she's kind of bogged down by the baggage
of the rest of the movie.
Of the rest of the DC movie space. I actually like Affleck as Batman. He's pretty good.
I'm not a big fan.
But he's scripted poorly. He's still sort of gravitating towards using guns and armament, and then they give him some punchline lines, and they just don't work. But
not at all.
Physically and like costume-wise, and
that's fine. Yeah, aesthetically it's fine.
He's good. Jason Momoa has a couple of interesting beats in here, but Gal Gadot is just like so much better than everybody else in there.
I know, it's amazing.
I got to tell you, I did dig the action sequences in here, and there's
really?
everything is super CG. It almost looks like a cartoon through this whole thing.
Yeah. Which is okay, but it's just no impact for me.
It's forgivable that there's so much CG, but you hit the nail on the head. If we don't care, it's hard to be invested in all of this animation stuff. And frankly, the animated movies that DC makes, I think, do a better job at connecting with us, and we care about those characters more than we do in this big feature film.
You're bringing up a big point. Heart.
Yeah.
You know, like the original Justice League comic had heart. Had heart and soul. This movie does not have a soul. It has pieces that all come together. Even the Flash, I love the Flash character. Again, super flat. I mean, I hated his character. I was like, he is so annoying, and I get he's trying to be that character, not in it. I did not like that at all.
Especially when you have a much better televised Flash to compare this to that's so much in popular consciousness and pop culture, and then we have this not terrible rendition of Flash.
I did not like him at all.
Yeah, but not sort of better, you know, and kind of worse than, much worse than what we're seeing every week on television in the Berlanti universe. There's moments of joy, and I actually got some sort of chills up my spine, especially when Wonder Woman was, because I'm a comic nerd and I followed these books.
So am I. I love the DC universe more than anybody.
Well, I really dug some of the beats in there, and there's some nice little, you know, flash forwards. There's a couple of little hidden pieces in there that I know DC nerds are going to dig, but we didn't build to this, and this has been the major problem. DC rushed to get these super team things together. We don't know these characters enough. We don't know these actors enough. These are important, you know, cultural milestones.
But when they all come together, it just doesn't seem to really work, and I don't care as a human being. I want to care. I like the Justice League, and I like DC, but I did not enjoy the movie.
And when you have to compare it to the Marvel movies and how, you know, expertly they built, and how, you know, they tried this and that worked, and then they tried this and that worked, and then they tried this and that worked. They took their time to get us to the Avengers, and it was that sort of triumphant crescendo.
It felt better.
It did.
It felt better.
You know, like, we just knew the people. We knew their roles and their backgrounds a little bit, and so when they allude to them, even like we saw in Thor Ragnarok, when they're sort of tying the pieces to, you know, little bits and pieces that we saw in previous movies, it was amazing. And I actually liked, you know, some of the Wonder Woman backstory stuff. Like we go to Themyscira. I can never pronounce it properly. But Wonder Woman's home island.
The island.
And we see the Amazons fighting. I thought that was incredible.
I know. Do you know what it is? We need another Wonder Woman movie. That's great. I don't know if I want to see another Batman movie with Affleck. I don't know if I want to see an Aquaman movie.
That's so tragic, right?
I mean, I love the guy who plays Aquaman from from Game of Thrones.
Baywatch.
He is Baywatch. I absolutely really love him as an actor. But I do not like him as Aquaman. Aquaman for me, maybe I'm thinking more of the 1980s.
You know what it is?
It just felt so much more grittier, and I was like, oh, why do we have to be so hardcore? Drinking whiskey and jumping in the ocean.
I mean, it was a different take, and I don't mind all of that, but it's just, it feels so forced. It feels so
forced to be dark and be brooding and be intense.
It's sort of squished into this universe that Zack Snyder unfortunately started building for us. And as I've said, I really like The Man of Steel. I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, it was okay.
A lot of people hate it. I really like that take. I thought it was a very daring, different take. Batman vs. Superman left me flat, and it's got such a shadow, no pun intended, across the rest of the DC universe. And Suicide Squad was abysmal. That was
and everybody can agree with that.
That wasn't even a movie, man. That was just
a mess.
That was a mess. And this is much better than that, and I liked it better than Batman vs. Superman.
I thought it's just in the same vein as Batman vs. Superman. I felt it was the same messed up. You know, you got your CG bad guy, a bunch of CG action scenes.
Well, they got the tone of the heroes much better this time, you know.
Wait a second.
Except for Batman, except like in terms of like, he's still not intelligent enough. He's still not a detective. He's still not outthinking everybody. And it really bothers me how quick he is to give up his secret identity to everybody. This is a guy that would not trust, even if he, you know, he recognizes his role, and he does in this movie, and the significance of being a hero and teaming up. Even if he did, he still would be disciplined enough not to trust everybody with his secret identity and walk into rooms and tell everybody I'm Bruce Wayne, I'm also Batman. Everybody figures it out too quickly. This is a guy that, you know, would undermine an entire Justice League for the safety of the Earth. He would be very protective at the onset of meeting all of these characters.
And we don't see that in Ben Affleck in this movie at all. And then I thought the return of Superman was ultra cheesy. And then
you know what? I think that Superman sort of evokes ultra cheesy. I'm okay with it.
No, I am okay with ultra cheesy. I love the original movies from the 1970s.
Yes.
I know you do as well.
Yeah.
But when he comes back and he's standing in a cornfield again, I'm like, oh man, cue in the music.
And they do the echo the John Williams music, and they echo the Danny Elfman Batman
a little
music.
bit. I wanted more of that.
Yes, I didn't hate it, and there are little threads and things like that that make me excited for what does come next. I do think, and I was thinking about you, that lots of people that don't know anything or really are sort of burnt out on the superhero thing or whatever. This is not going to turn people's opinions.
No, this is not going to make you a superhero fan.
Or a fan of the current DC universe.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of great superhero movies in the last year.
Yeah.
It's turned me around, and this movie's turned me around once again. And what are you going to give this movie?
I liked it better than Batman vs. Superman. It gets a 7 out of 10 for me. What about you?
It gets a 6 out of 10 for me. I was not a big fan of it at all.